Hello everyone, now let us discuss about part 2 of anti-anginal drugs. In the current session, we will be focusing on beta blockers and potassium channel openers. So coming to the brief introduction of angina. Angina is not a disease, but it is a pain syndrome. It is a feeling of pain, squeezing or pressure in the chest. It happens when a part of the heart does not receive enough oxygen than usual. Usually, the induction of an adverse oxygen supply and demand situation in a particular portion of myocardium often leads to angina. This is an important point. Induction of an adverse oxygen supply or demand situation in a portion of myocardium leads to angina. Coming to the clinically used beta blockers for angina. The most commonly used beta blockers for angina are propranolol, metoprolol and atenolol. And other beta blockers are also used, but these three are used primarily. So, beta blockers act by reducing the cardiac work and oxygen consumption as a consequence of decreased heart rate, inotropic state and mean BP. They block the beta 1 receptors to produce these actions, that is nothing but decreased heart rate, reduced contractility and mean BP. As a consequence, reduced cardiac work and oxygen consumption are seen. In addition, they limit the increase in cardiac work that occurs during exercise or anxiety by their antiadrenergic action on the heart. And reduction in heart rate indirectly improves the coronary perfusion by prolonging diastole, during which some endocardial perfusion occurs. Coming to the indications, the beta blockers are primarily indicated to treat classical angina, but they are not indicated for vasospastic angina. All beta blockers except those with intrinsic sympathomimetic activity, example pendolol, are equally effective in decreasing frequency, severity of attacks and in increasing the exercise tolerance in classical angina. Whereas cardioselective agents like atenolol, metoprolol are preferred over non-selective beta blockers like propranolol. Because non-selective beta blockers like propranolol are prone to worsen variant angina due to unopposed alpha receptor mediated coronary constriction that may worsen the coronary spasm. For this reason, they are not indicated for vasospastic angina because they worsen the coronary spasm. The long-term use of beta blockers lowers the risk of sudden cardiac deaths in ischemic patients. Beta blockers are the only anti-anginal drugs that prolong the life expectancy in coronary artery disease patients. Beta blockers are the only anti-anginal drugs that prolong the life expectancy in coronary artery patients, and they are the first line of drugs in all stable angina patients unless they are contraindicated, and dose should be individualized, and abrupt discontinuation after chronic use may precipitate severe attacks and even myocardial infarction. Coming to unstable angina and non-ST segment elevated myocardial infarction. Beta blockers are also indicated for unstable angina and non-ST segment elevated myocardial infarction. They are routinely used unless they are contraindicated. Prescribed after starting, the beta blockers are prescribed after starting nitrates or calcium channel blockers or both to counteract the coronary vasospasm, and they reduce the risk of myocardial infarction, sudden cardiac death as discussed earlier. Coming to the contraindications. Beta blockers are contraindicated in asthma and other bronchospastic conditions. They are contraindicated in severe bradycardia, AV block, and severe unstable left ventricular failure. In addition to that, in some patients, even classical angina may be worsened if ventricular dilation and assynergy of contraction occurs, especially with high doses. Coming to the next category, they are potassium channel openers. The potassium channel openers which is used as anti-anginal drugs is nicorandil. Now coming to nicorandil. Nicorandil is a potassium channel opener which was introduced as an anti-anginal drug in 1990s and is periodically used as an alternative to nitrates or calcium channel blockers. Coming to the mechanism of action. Nicorandil, it activates the ATP sensitive potassium channels in smooth muscle membrane. This leads to hyperpolarization and then relaxation. And this vasodilator action is partly antagonized by glibenclamide, which is a potassium channel blocker. And like nitrates, they also act as nitric oxide donors. So nicorandil exhibits dual mechanism. It acts as an NO donor and it is a potassium channel opener. So like nitrates, it also acts as NO donor and it relaxes the blood vessels by increasing the cyclic GMP. Thus, arterial dilation is coupled with venodilation and both cardiac preload as well as cardiac afterload are reduced. Additionally, coronary flow is also increased and there is no significant effect on the cardiac contractility or conduction. Coming to the kinetics of nicorandil, it is well absorbed orally and nearly completely metabolized in the liver. It is excreted in urine and it exhibits a biphasic elimination. This is an important point. Nicorandil exhibits biphasic elimination and the initial rapid phase T-half is 1 hour and the later slow phase T-half is 12 hours. Coming to the drug interactions, it interacts with sildenafil. Now coming to the indications, clinical indications of nicorandil. It has been beneficial in treating frequency of angina and exercise tolerance in stable as well as vasospastic angina when compared to nitrates and calcium channel blockers. And it exerts a cardioprotective action by stimulating ischemic preconditioning as a result of activation of mitochondrial ATP sensitive potassium channels. So ischemic preconditioning is a phenomena in which brief periods of ischemia and reperfusion exert a cardioprotective effect on subsequent total vascular occlusion. It is found to reduce acute coronary events in high-risk stable angina patients. Nicorandil is found to reduce the acute coronary events in high-risk stable angina patients, and generally it is a second-line drug and is used in resistant angina when combined with other drugs. And when it is administered intravenously during angioplasty for acute myocardial infarction, it is claimed to improve the outcome. Coming to the side effects, they are flushing, palpitations, weakness, headache, dizziness, nausea and vomiting, and large, painful aphthous mouth ulcers are seen. Coming to the clinically available formulations, they are Nicoran 5 mg 10 mg tablets and 2 mg per vial and 48 mg per vial injections. And the other one is Corandil. It is available in 5 and 10 mg tablets. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmacology and other related pharmaceutical sciences.